I can't really picture myself doing anything else. This has always been part of my life. It's an incomparable feeling knowing that I was created and designed for this. That feeling of freedom and absolute control over your creation. It's the artist's utopia. The process of baking perfection is what I enjoy the most. The certainty of a tested recipe and the uncertainty of a new one. Measuring, adding, and mixing ingredients into a uniform blend. It's that rush of pleasure mixed with the anticipation of the end results. Prepping the pans, setting the heat to the perfect temperature, and then waiting patiently. In many ways, it's quite similar to the dance of life. My name is Temitope Ogunsulire, and I make cakes with class.
The things I can say shaping my life is growing up in the midst of guys, because beyond having my brothers, my extended family, the bulk of them were all guys. So it kind of made me a tough woman. It kind of made me strong and believe in myself a lot. Growing up as well, my dad being a pharmacist, after a while he resigned and went into politics in Ondo State. So at the point that he was hanging around. So seeing my mom do most of the things now also made me a very independent life. Like, okay, you can do everything. You not always be waiting and dependent on anyone. I started baking as a toddler. I just loved being in the kitchen, messing my hands up with flour. So I had actually been a baker even before I entered university. I had been baking celebration cakes even from secondary school. I had been making birthday cakes. So it just flowed in that line that okay, I studied food science and technology. It wasn't my preference because as a toddler I wanted to be a doctor. I think the first major cake I did was for maybe my kid brother Ben. Yeah, I think I was over 10 when I made that cake for him. Now, aside my family members, I know I had someone ask me. She actually said she's going to give money for the ingredients to bake for her son. So I felt okay, that was my first major baking for a client. And yeah, it was also a joy in it. Like, okay, we're now getting some money. When people come to me to know how much I tried was difficult because I really did not know who my competitors were at that point. So I just basically called whatever figure which I felt was the cost of materials and whatever I felt was like a game. And because I was so young that I knew very little about accounting, professionally I've been in business for over 15 years. Over 15 years. Yeah. So how K2 class started up from almost scratch to where it is today. Mommy's kitchen has been it. So we just put in everything and bake with whatever we want. And today someone asks for an 8-inch cake. And I'm like, oh, okay, mommy, please. We don't have the size of pan, go and buy one. Tomorrow another person asks for a square cake and we're like, why didn't they ask for that same level? We'll go and buy one square. So we're just buying things bit by bit and kept stocking it up and at a point, but God bless my parents, they never put any form of pressure on me. So their kitchen was actually my workspace. So I just graduated from home kitchen space and even when I moved out of my parents' place it was basically still in my home and I converted a whole room to my baking studio. And even despite the fact that I converted the whole room to it was still pretty choking because I still had to use the living room, had to use the kitchen, had to use other parts of the house. It just kept getting worse slash better because it just made me know that, okay, it is time for expansion, it is time for growth. And I think basically that's what brought me here to this space that hopefully we'll still have to expand very soon. So that was how we all started. I grew up in a Christian family, so seeing them go to church and just follow going to church. I think the moment I felt, okay, I'm just going to give my life to Christ and leave it with Christ. Or sometimes in 7 years old. The influence I've gotten from being in a Christian community, church, it has been both sides because everybody wants free cake. But the plus is, you still have them as your clients. They would rather patronize you. So you have the patronage from the community, the church, Christian friends, and you're at a slight liberty to make little mistakes than if it was just a complete stranger and those ones are just asking for 100% refund. So being in a Christian community, yes, has helped me that way. And of course, I have them pray for me, pray with me, and sincerely they desire to see me grow. So having to deal with some will call it difficult clients. I call them some very interesting clients. Over the years, I've learned to just mostly keep quiet and just allow them speak. With wisdom, you will know how to explain to them that we are not going to take up this job. So I have learned as well now to reduce my conversations verbally and make more written. Most of it is via the telephone, WhatsApp chat, Instagram DMs. There's an evidence to say, this is what you said. If you ask for a cake right now, I have like a template I will send back to you and you approve it. So that's one thing growth has made me to learn over the years. I've had a couple of challenges here and there, but two stand out. One was when I had this client call me and she said she wanted cupcakes. Are your cupcakes edible? I want edible cupcakes. Unknown to me, I was ignorant. I said, oh, all my cakes are edible. And she was like, I'm sorry, you really don't know what I'm talking about. So she said, we. So I didn't take that one. That was one. And the second one was when I was tempted to increase the pricing for a particular woman who I knew was a very high class woman in the country. And I knew she could afford almost everything. So I was tempted to say, well, okay, maybe a 10,000 naira cake for her, call it 50,000 naira. Because she didn't even ask for the price. But eventually, as God will have it, I gave her the price the way I would charge a regular person. And one of the things I learned from her was I told her what the price was. And she gave me the money I requested for and said to me, thank you for not overcharging me because you know who I am. And she gave me exactly 100% of what she gave me today. I broke down in tears. The Christmas period for a lot of bakers is when we have a lot of pressure because everybody's ordering for Christmas cakes. We still have some wedding cakes. We still have some birthday cakes, but the order is just so much. So aside having every other regular cake, I had one person order 20. So I was really shocked and I just made investments and got pans and everything. And I think I felt relieved the moment all the cakes were out, delivered, and they appreciated it. Different things really has helped me grow and scale up. I think being persistent. I would also say having to learn and unlearn because the baking industry new things come up every day. So you keep learning some things, and there are some old things you have to drop. So not compromising on quality. That has given me an edge, has made me grow. I remember a particular instance, and I had a 2-tier buttercream cake leave my office, and it was barely 2 to 3 minutes. They called me that the cake had collapsed, so they came back. So I restructured the cake, and it was not fondant, it was buttercream. So we had to redo, restart, try to restructure, and send it out a second time. I've gotten so many reviews, both sides. I've gotten some that make me, oh, and I want to make me cry. But I think one that stands out was one I got recently, actually. And the client sent me a text and said, this cake is bigger than what I expected, and I actually feel I am not paying. I feel I cheated you. That was actually touching. I've had some say, amongst all the cakes I got, this was literally the best cake ever. Thankfully, we've had more of the good reviews than the bad reviews. And there are some of the bad reviews that we know that I tried out a new recipe on clients and I sent out the cake. And even when I made the cake, I knew that I didn't like that cake, but I felt okay, I could be so finicky, so maybe it is just me that doesn't like the cake. The clients will like the cake. And the client did not. In the next 5 years, by his grace, though, there has been so much growth. I love to teach, so I love to have students and interns. So I see myself having a cake studio that I have a particular session and it's just like a school. For anyone thinking about coming into the baking industry, whether you're an upcoming or you're already there, just take everything one step at a time. Because if you look forward, you see people that he could have blown and you will feel intimidated. But at the same time, there are people that are way, way below you. So just be intentional about every step you take. Do not compromise with quality. Continually grow, continually learn, continually teach yourself. And yes, share the knowledge, build good relationships, both with your staff, with your vendors, with your clients, and most especially with God. That will help anybody in the industry.